They arrested me for kidnapping my wife while she was calmly sitting next to me. My wife called the police on me for kidnapping her. She was sitting right next to me in our own living room when the officers put me in handcuffs. I had never been so confused in my entire life. It was a Tuesday evening. Nora and I had just finished dinner. She was washing dishes. I was on the couch watching the news when 3 squad cars pulled up outside our house. The knock on the door was so loud it shook the frame. When I opened it, 2 officers pushed past me immediately, their hands on their holsters. They were looking for Nora, asking if she was safe, if she was injured, if she was here against her will. Nora came out of the kitchen with soap still on her hands and stared at them the same way I was staring at them. One of the officers showed me his phone. There was a 911 call logged 40 minutes earlier. A woman had reported her own kidnapping, gave our home address, described our house in detail, said she was being held by her husband, a man named Callum Reyes. That is my name. And the voice on the recording was Nora's voice. I recognized it immediately. The officers heard me say that, and their hands went back to their holsters. They separated us. Nora was taken to the kitchen. I was put on the couch with an officer standing 3 feet away, watching me like I was already convicted. I could hear them asking Nora in the other room if she was safe, if she needed medical attention, if she wanted to press charges. I heard her say she had no idea what they were talking about, that she had not called anyone that evening, that she had been home with me since 6. But the call was real. The recording was real. And whoever had made it knew our address, knew my name, and sounded exactly like my wife. While I sat on that couch, something cold started spreading through my chest. I thought about the last 2 months. Nora, coming home later than usual, the new passwords on her laptop, the day I found a prepaid phone in her coat pocket, and she told me it was for a work project she never explained. And most of all, the night 3 weeks ago, when I woke up at 2 in the morning and found her standing in the dark hallway, just standing there, staring at the front door. When I asked her what she was doing, she said she was sleepwalking, but her eyes were wide open and she was already dressed. The detective who arrived 20 minutes later was a woman named Reyes, not related, who asked me to come to the station voluntarily to give a statement. I agreed because what else do you do when the alternative is looking guilty? At the station, they played me the full 911 recording. It was 4 minutes long. The voice described things only someone who lived in that house could know. The creak in the 3rd step, the broken latch on the back window, the shelf above the bathroom sink where I keep my keys. Every detail was precise. Every detail was correct, and the voice never wavered. I asked the detective one question. Had they traced the call's origin? She paused slightly, then told me it came from a cell number registered to Nora, the same number Nora had been using for 2 years. I told her about the prepaid phone. She left the room for 11 minutes. When she came back, her expression had changed. She asked if I knew that Nora had filed for divorce 8 weeks ago. I did not know that. She asked if I knew Nora had taken out a restraining order application the previous Friday and then withdrawn it the same day without explanation. I did not know that either. They let me go home at midnight. Nora was already in bed when I got there. The house was quiet. I stood in the doorway of our bedroom for a long moment, and she opened her eyes and looked at me, and there was something in her face I had never seen before. It wasn't guilt exactly. It was closer to relief, like she had been waiting for something to go wrong and was almost grateful it had gone this particular kind of wrong instead of some other kind. I didn't ask her anything that night. The next morning, I found the prepaid phone in her gym bag. It wasn't hidden carefully enough, and I think that was intentional. I think she wanted me to find it. There was one number saved in it under the name R, and there were 43 calls to that number over 6 weeks. The most recent one was 40 minutes before the police knocked on our door. I have been married to Nora for 4 years. I thought I knew everything about her. I thought we were building a life. I thought the house we were saving for the future we kept talking about was real. I still don't know who R is, but I know that whoever answered that phone told her to make the call. And I know that whatever she is running from has been sitting at our dinner table with us for months. And I know that the night I find out what it is will change everything. She hasn't left, and I haven't asked her to. And every evening we sit across from each other at that same table, like 2 people who have never met, pretending to be strangers, pretending to be married. I don't know which one is